This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money, your everything, your relationships, your mental health. I'm John Deloney, joined here by best-selling author and good friend Christy Wright, and we are taking your calls on everything. 888-825-5225. The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. Christy, you doing well?
I'm doing great. It's Friday. I'm always in a good mood on Friday. Who's not, right?
Outstanding.
Even if you love your work, Friday's fun. You're kicking off the weekend.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, let's go to Daryl in Minneapolis.
We are off to such a strong start here, people. And I like it.
Reading. What's up, Daryl?
Hey there. How are you guys doing?
Remarkable.
Good.
How are you?
Good. So I had a question about contributing to my retirement and cash flowing school.
Okay.
So I'm just about to start my FNP program, Family Nurse Practitioner, and I'm planning on cash flowing it all the way.
Good for you.
Yeah. So first year is all didactic, and I should be able to cover it no problem. Second year is a lot of clinical work, and I'm looking at possibly having to reduce my hours at work in order to make the clinical section work, which would make, cash flowing my degree a little bit more challenging. Mm-hmm. I was just wondering, what is the best option in terms of should I hold off on contributing to retirement for that 1 year just to kind of give myself a little extra breathing room?
Where are you working right now?
So I work as an ER nurse in the Minneapolis area. So.
And how old are you, Daryl?
28.
Okay. Give us some more details about your financial situation. Do you have any debt?
So I have no debt besides my mortgage. It's
good for you.
$125,000. Right now I have about $45,000 in savings. That includes my emergency fund. In terms of my retirement accounts, I have about $60,000 in a Roth and 401k, and then I have about $275,000 in another retirement account.
So let me ask you this. I'm trying to run these scenarios in my mind because just at first glance, it doesn't sound like you really have to. It sounds like you might want to have some margin, have some breathing room as you described it. It doesn't sound like you have to. What's the difference if you stopped contributing for whatever period of time in order for you to make sure that you can cash flow this? What amount of money are we talking about? Have you added that up to the total?
So right now I contribute, about $400 to my 401k, and then I max out my Roth every year. So, the way I have my budget set, it's pretty tight. Just to do school, it's about $22,000 a year. So,
yeah,
I don't want to touch my savings too much.
I think the most important thing, and Christy, hop in here. I think the most important thing here is to get through this program debt free. Yeah. And so if you can cash flow that, great. If that means for a year, 2 years, you're going to pause, you're going to max out the Roth, but you're going to pause on that $400 a month or 401 contribution, or you're going to end up pausing for 2 years on all of your retirement to get this new position. And the difference between an ER nurse and a nurse practitioner, is that what you're going to school for, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The pay difference is significant, right? You'll make that money back up on the back end. I just want you to do whatever it takes to not go into debt. I have had students of mine who might, when they get into clinical rotations, they may even go, if they can, go part-time in their clinical rotations and extend the program a year in order to stay out of debt.
Yeah.
And not every program can do that, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, here's the thing, Daryl. You are in a great financial situation because you're already committed to going to school debt-free. You have no other debt. You have $45,000 in savings or whatever you said. So you're already in a great spot. Whatever you do, you're going to be fine. The thing that I want everyone to hear, anyone listening right now that is kind of maybe in a similar shoes, they're like, should I pause retirement for this, or should I, make this decision here to give me some breathing room? That's the only thing that gave me a head tilt, because I want you to be in a situation where if you can contribute, you do. Now, if you can't, and that's going to put you in a position where you can't graduate debt-free, like John's saying, then absolutely you can pause retirement and jump right back in. You're going to be in a great spot either way. But some people will sometimes say, oh, well, I need to dip into my emergency fund because I need a little extra wiggle room. It's like, well, if you need to, sure, do it. If you don't have to, it doesn't hurt to continue contributing to your retirement as well. So you're going to be in a good spot either way. And congratulations. Congratulations on going to school. Sounds like you are working really, really hard, and I know it's going to pay off.
I absolutely love that. The going into school, I think it's always important, and she's done it. And I want everyone to hear this. She's done the math. Mm-hmm. This is not a prayer,
it's not a guess.
We'll figure it out.
Right.
There is no guessing. How much will the tuition cost, the room and board cost, the fees cost? How much money do I have? How much money do I make? Let's make a budget. Let's make a 2 and 3 year plan, because this is how long this program is. The number of college students I've met with over the years who seem surprised year 2. Mm-hmm. Like, I've got just enough money for year 1, but that year 2. Year 2's gonna come,
right?
So plan for it,
right?
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, way to go asking the right questions. That's awesome.
Yes, and as we run up to the break, I'm excited for this. The new Questions for Humans cards are out. I created these cards. Here's what they are. They are non-COVID, non-politics. These are questions for you and your friends when y'all are hanging out. Questions for you. You are trying to reconnect with your spouse. They're a deck of cards, and questions for kids that are multi-generational. You can sit with grandparents and little ones. You can sit around a table. This is for the holidays. This is for driving.
Oh my gosh, these are perfect for the holidays around the dinner table. Okay, so true or false, you have not looked at these since you submitted them?
I just took the plastic on them, off of them.
After the break at some point today, I'm asking you some of these questions, and I can't wait to see what the questions are, and can't wait to see your response. It's going to be fun.
No, I'm I'm so excited, and the reviews are coming back that are fantastic. One was my favorite.
Who is this for? Say who this is for specifically.
So the most common thing I get is this.
Let's have it.
All right, Deloney, we turned all the screens off.
Mm-hmm. Now what?
I'm staring at my 4 daughters around a coffee table, and they're all looking at me like, now what, Dad?
Yes.
Or now what, Mom? Or I am picking up my young son, and then I drive through the next pickup line, and there's 30 minutes between when I pick up my son, I pick up my daughter, and I just asked my son, like, hey, how was school? And he goes, fine.
Right. And we're all feeling awkward.
And we just stare at each other.
Yeah.
And so over the last 24 months, we've lost it way before that, but it's easy to poke in the last 24 months. We've lost the ability to just connect with one another.
Yeah.
And so these are decks of cards. There's 3 of them. You can go to johndeloney.com or ramseysolutions.com. It is 3 decks of cards that are not about politics.
Yeah.
Not about, hey, man, what do you think about the vaccine? There is no vaccine questions.
They're not controversial, which is wonderful.
Well, they could be controversial.
Well, different kind.
What's the thing? What is the thing you wish I did around the house more? And I am getting comments back, especially from wives, saying, oh, I've been wanting to tell my husband this for years, and now I can just say, oh, it's in the game. I got to answer it.
It's not my fault.
So, yes, we'll ask each other questions throughout today. I can't wait. It's going to be a good time. Hey, 888-825-5225. We're taking your calls on anything and everything, your money, your relationships, your life. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Show, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Matthew in Baltimore, Maryland. What's up, Matthew?
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
You got it, brother. What's up?
I am about 15 years old, and I have about $20,000, and I'm kind of wondering what to do with my money.
How'd you get $20,000 at 15?
I've been working for a long time. I work a lot.
What do you do, man? Here's what I'm asking you. Most adults in the United States, statistically speaking, don't have $20,000. You are already in rare air, and you can't even buy cigarettes yet. So what have you been doing?
Well, when I was really young, I started working with my dad. As I got older, I started mowing lawns, and now I have a little landscaping business. I also I work part-time at a restaurant, little odd jobs here and there, and just do whatever I can to make as much money as possible.
You are a go-getter, Matthew. That's incredible.
What a stud. All right, so you want to know what to do with this money?
Yeah. So I have about $12,250, give or take, in cash savings right now.
Okay.
I also have a brokerage account with my dad. It's a custodial brokerage account. And we did a lot of research, 8-9 months ago, and started investing. I started investing a piece of what I make every month. I now have about $7,700 in there with the interest added to it. And now I'm kind of sitting here, and I don't know what to keep doing. I don't know if I should keep investing in those index and mutual funds I'm in. I don't know if I should just save all of my money. I don't know what to do.
Well, the fact that you're asking about investments at your age is incredible.
Yes.
And the fact that you're starting investing this early is incredible. You're going to have a lot of money in your life, Matthew, just by the sheer drive and habits and the foot that you're starting out on. Here's what I do want to remind you, and you can maybe tell me what your plan is for this. You got some expenses coming up, most likely, potentially a car. I don't know if you're planning to go to college, a house, maybe get married. So like in the next 10 years of your life, you could have some major expenses. Have you thought through what you want to do for a vehicle, or do you have one, or college if you want to have any further education? What's your plan there?
Yeah, so I'm pretty planned out. So for the vehicle, my dad told me he would go half and half with me. We've had that conversation.
Okay.
We decided through our conversations that with the market right now, what I have, what he has, everything, we're going to go for about $12,000 for a total for the car. So I'm not looking to buy a car until late next summer, like say August, maybe even September.
Okay.
Because that's when I'll be getting my license. So I'll just need $6,000 saved up by then, which obviously I already have that money.
Yep.
Excellent.
As far as moving on towards college, I just want to go full time with my landscaping business out of high school and then do community college at night. I don't really want to go to a university. I also am lucky enough that, lucky in a way, when I was really young, my mom passed away, and we have some kind of money, I don't know what it's called, that is through the government that my dad does not use, some kind of assistance that he refuses to use, but he puts it in an account, and his intent there was that I could use it for college if I wanted to.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
I believe there's right around $75,000 to $100,000 in there, so it would hopefully take care of most of my college tuition.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you are a planner, Matthew. Well done.
So can I ask you a sideways question, and then we'll get to your money answer?
Of course.
What do you do for fun?
I go out with friends. I like to go to the gym and work out. Nothing crazy, though.
Okay. Your drive is incredible. And you're thinking things through. I'm just smiling here, Christy. I don't know adults who've planned the next 2 or 3 years like you have.
No.
You're an incredible young man. And I want to make sure you have relationships in your life and you've got joy in your life too. That you're taking time to be goofy, to act 15, and to laugh and to make memories as well. You can mow a bunch of yards, and man, I tell you what, I mowed a ton of yards in high school. I don't remember any of them, maybe one or two. I remember the laughter and the fun.
Okay.
So remember to have relationships and joy. When it comes to your money, I'm with Christy. I like the idea of you, even if it's $30, $25, you started this index mutual fund, that's fine. And I would tell you to start a college savings account. You've already got that. I would keep as much of this stuff at 15 liquid as possible. You're not trying to earn a jillion bucks. The $50 you're going to earn an interest on X dollar. you're going to be better spent being able to go buy that car, to be able to go write a check for your books and your first semester of community college tuition, whatever those things look like. And so I would keep that stuff as liquid as possible through graduation. The goal is to get through your associate's degree, whatever certificates you want to get, completely debt free. And that's when you're going to loop right back into the baby steps, and you're going to start investing 15% of your income. You're going to start saving for a house. You're going to start doing some of those things, and you're just on an accelerated path. And so it's going to be tempting to overthink it because you plan ahead and you move so quickly. And remember, you're playing a long, long game here. Don't overthink it. Don't be like, you know what, I'm just going to put on Bitcoin. Whatever. You are doing the right things, brother. Get through the next 5-6 years of your life completely debt free. Continue your practice, putting a little bit of this stuff in index funds, and then you can be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think one of the other things, just to remind you, and I'm sure you already do this, Matthew, it sounds like you are on top of everything, but just keep your personal finances and your business finances separate. And this may have started as a small little thing, but the more sophisticated you get with your landscaping business, and if you take it full time, you're going to want to have all those records for taxes, for any equipment purchases you want to make, and you just want to know what's your money, what's your business's money, what are the business expenses, and so on. And so some of that money coming from the business can stay in the business savings account for those future equipment purchases as you scale up your business, and you'll be ready for it because you're working hard and you're a saver. So great job.
And Matthew, I just thought of one more thing, even though I said I was done.
Yeah.
You got one more second?
Of course. Yeah. All the time you have.
Do you have a regular practice of giving?
I do. Yeah.
Good. Who's somebody you give to?
I give stuff to my friends, and I buy them food and everything all the time. And then I also, last year I started this year I'm going to do it much bigger. But last year around Christmas, I gave away about $500 to a charity.
Okay.
This year I'm hoping to do like a couple thousand, to be honest with you.
Excellent. So giving to your buddies will just leech on people like you. They're going to always dude, Matthew's got us, dude. You're paying for it. You're the one with the job. Don't let him become leeches on you, okay? That's separate. That's separate and apart from a regular practice of giving. And again, we're playing a long-term game here, both with accumulating wealth and then getting to the root of why do we even earn money. And that's so that we can have our safety here, but we can give generously and almost reckless. I mean, you just give away. Start that practice now, man. That's another key component to having a good financial future.
Yeah, well done. You're incredible. You are off to an amazing start.
All right, we got a minute left. Pull one up. Let's do this.
I'm ready.
Questions for humans. Go to johndeloney.com. Save your marriage and your holidays.
I'm gonna ask you one of the kids' questions. This is fun. What is the grossest thing in the whole wide world? Knowing the things that you talk about, I just can't even imagine what you would say for this.
Oh man, the grossest thing in the whole wide world.
You wrote this question.
Can I tell you?
I don't know if I'm ready for it.
No, it's not going to be as bad as you think. When I was a young child, and this is me shaming my mom on the radio.
Great, she's
my
gonna
mom
love
used
this.
to tell me, John, you're so cute and you're so smart and I love you, but your feet are so disgusting.
Oh, really?
You have gross feet. I think I was married for 3 years before my wife saw my. She's like I wore socks everywhere.
You're traumatized by it.
Oh my gosh! And so whenever I see other humans' feet, it literally gives me the heebs. Like my body. Yeah, there you are on the cover of your book. I can't even look at the cover of your book because of your bare feet.
I just came here today to gross John Deloney out with the cover of my book, Take Back Your
Human
Time,
feet.
where I am barefoot.
Or just give me the bleh. What about you? What's the grossest thing?
Gosh, I don't know. I feel like when I became a mom, my threshold for gross went like out the window.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
you could be on the phone talking.
Throw up on me, sure, whatever.
Exactly. Oh, look. Half of the diaper caught half of that. The other half is all over me. Great.
I tell you what, ironically telling you this, I don't love bathroom humor. It's one of your top favorite things.
I think it's hilarious.
I don't even laugh at it a little bit. I'm like, come on, get more creative.
Neither does my wife.
Than that.
She doesn't think any of it's funny.
Kelly's got me back there.
That is not good company. That is not good company. 888-825-5225. Questions for humans. We're answering everything right here on The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at betheltech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.
The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. James told me I'm a little bit amped up today. I'm just excited. I have a good time on the radio. But I'm going to bring it down a notch. And just in time, is it too soon to start talking about Christmas? I know Thanksgiving's still a couple of weeks away, but here's the deal. Me and the rest of the Ramsey Solutions team are already in a Christmas frame of mind. And a big reason is we're already giving away cash as part of our Christmas cash giveaway. Every year we celebrate Christmas with our Ramsey Show listeners with our Ramsey Christmas Cash giveaway. It's a tradition now. If you do it more than 1 year in a row, it's a tradition. And this year we're giving away $500 every week and a grand prize of $5,000. You can enter every day to increase your chances of winning. Just text CASH to 33789. That's cash to 33789. And you can go ahead and get on the giving too. We got all kinds of life-changing gifts for your family and friends and our famous $10 sale. That means you can shop over 40 of our best-selling books and envelopes for just $10 or less. You can get books like my #1 bestseller, Redefining Anxiety, Dave's, I forgot the name of, what's that little book he wrote? Oh, The Total Money Makeover. Yeah, that one. You can get Rachel Cruz's newest book. You can get Christy Wright's best-selling book. Tons of them, $10. This year, forget the one-time use presents and give a lifetime worth of hope with a gift. Go to shop the $10 sale at RamseySolutions.com. Let's go to Lisa in Pittsburgh. What is up, Lisa? How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Outstanding. How can we help?
Okay, question for you. I use my vehicle for work, and I drive 400 to 500 miles a week. It's a 2008, and I have 205,000 miles on it. My boss pays for all the repairs and upkeep and all that. So I need a new vehicle, and he was going to give me $10,000 towards a new vehicle, and he said I can do with it what I want. So I owe $4,500 on this vehicle still, and I have $3,800 in credit cards. So I'm wondering what the best way to spend that $10,000.
Did he give you money for a new car and say this needs to be for a new car? Because that's a real big deal if he gave you money toward the car for the car because you used the car for work.
He said I could do with it what I wanted, but it was to try to help me out to get a vehicle with lesser miles.
How much has he spent in repairs on your current car this year?
How much has he spent? I am not sure about that. He pays for my oil changes, tires. I just recently had to put like $1,700 into it. It's getting to the point where it's kind of nickel and diming you to death.
Yeah, I just wonder if he's being altruistic or if he is doing this as a business investment on his own part.
Right.
That he just sees the writing on the wall. Here's $10,000. Get yourself a little bit of an upgrade. Yeah.
Because if he gave you that money because he wants you to be in a good, dependable car that's not nickel and diming you at the end of this, and you're not because you put that money towards debt, he's going to be frustrated, as would as would anybody be. Yeah.
Or you're gonna pay off all of your debts, you're gonna be debt free, and next week the transmission's gonna fall out of your car, and you're gonna go to him and say, hey, you said you were gonna cover this, and he's gonna say, I just gave you $10,000, and
I'm absolutely
you're gonna be in a
debt
mess.
free. Sure, I wish that would do it. But the thing is, my payments right now on this are $216 a month. I can't afford $400 to $600 a month for a vehicle, so I'm kind of in a catch-22. So my reasoning was, if I paid off that $3,800 credit card debt, then that frees up some cash flow for me.
Yeah,
and I don't know.
You got a $10,000 check, and you're trying to come up with some really cool ways. Yeah, a shell game to make it work so you can keep it. You feel like you won the lottery? You didn't. You got $10,000 to get a new car.
Right. Well, obviously, yeah.
How much is your broken down car? How much is it worth?
I'm guessing around $7,000, and I owe $4,500 on it.
I would sell it before the day is over, and then buy a $13,000 car, and tell your boss you're grateful for his or her investment in you, and then get on. And then you got a $3,800 of credit card debt. You're gonna get that knocked off.
But you said that wasn't it. What else do you have? What other kind of debt?
Oh, I don't know if you want to know.
You called, and you know
exactly.
Called
the Ramsey Show.
I'm gonna ask, Lisa. You know I'm gonna ask. Let's have it. What do you got?
After listening to that 15-year-old, I'm kind of embarrassed.
No,
you're gonna have to get in line behind that 15-year-old man. He's way ahead of most people. Yeah. So what's up?
Well, I own my house. I owe like $77,000 on my house.
Other than house, we're not talking about house. Mainly just consumer debt here.
Yeah.
Like windows in my house, does that count? I owe $55,000 on that, but there's no interest on it.
$55,000 or $5,500?
$5,500.
Okay,
yeah.
Those are some windows.
Okay, how many credit cards?
The credit cards was at $3,800.
$3,800. Okay, and then you got $45,000 on your car that you're going to sell today. What else you got? You got windows that you owe money on. You've got student loans. I have a student loan in my name, but it's my daughter's, and she's going to pay on. It's got your name on it. How much is that?
$43,000.
Woo! How much do you make every year?
Does she make?
No, you.
Me, $57,000, and I have 2 kids at home.
Single income?
Single mom. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm you, by the end of this day, I owe $3,800 in credit cards and $5,500 in my windows, and I'm going to get those credit cards taken care of as fast as humanly possible. Even if I have to pick up another job or ask my boss if I can make another shift or another drive or whatever, and before the middle of next year, I'm going to have that knocked out. And then it's just going to be you versus those windows. And the stress of not having a car payment and the stress of having a car that you're not worried about breaking down on you all the time is going to let you sleep just 2% deeper.
But I missed that. Like, well, what am I supposed to do about a vehicle then?
No, you go buy one with that $10,000.
You're kidding me. You find me a $10,000 car that doesn't have 100,000 miles on or more. So I don't, and I put $500 on a week. I don't understand how I'm going to find a car that cheap that I'm not in the same position I'm in right now.
You said your car's got 200,000 miles on it?
205.
205.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're trading in for 100,000 miles.
What kind of car do you have?
Toyota Highlander.
Okay. You may downsize in car. You may downsize in brand. It may not be your dream car, but you absolutely can find a good, used, moderate mileage car for under $10,000. People do it every day. You're going to have to do some digging. You may have to look outside of your neighborhood, your city. You might have to negotiate. You can find a $10,000.
And you know how I know? Because I drive one.
It's not an absurd
Don't
budget.
give me that. I drive one.
The other thing, Lisa, that I hear in your story, and I just want to say this before we go to break, you're not working the plan.
No.
You're not. You're trying to move things around and hoping that moving things around or skipping steps or dodging things or find different shortcuts is going to get you to where you want to be. It won't. It won't. You have to work the plan. You have to commit to stop digging yourself in more debt. Stop accepting that payments are a way of life. Stop looking for shortcuts. Get your $1,000 and then dig away at your debt. And don't give up until you get out of debt. I hear it in your voice. You're okay with those payments. And as long as you're okay with those payments, you will never do anything different and you will never get anywhere different.
And as long as your attitude is, oh, just $10,000, what am I going to do with that? You can change everything, Lisa. Everything with $10,000. And is it going to be your dream car? No. It's going to be something that's going to get you another 24 months down the road or 36 months down the road.
So one person will call and say, I've got $10,000. I can make this go so far. I can be so smart with this. Someone else calls and goes, it's not enough. Can't do anything with that. Attitude matters how you view the amount of money because it's going to determine what you do with it.
Yes, and so let me say this in a different way. You're in an emergency situation. You got 2 young kids. You got a car that's falling apart, and you owe $55,000. This is an emergency. Take the $10,000, buy the car, get yourself down the road and get this debt paid off. Start working the plan. This is the Ramsey Show. This is the Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225, taking your calls on money, life, relationships, everything. Let's go to Anna in H-Town, Houston. Hey, Anna, what's going on?
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's going on? How can I help?
I'm calling to seek advice in regards to my debt. I have $110,000 in debt, and I owe the IRS $35,000. So I would like to know, I know that I have to follow the snowball form, but I would like to know if I have to pay the IRS first and then go back to the snowball, or how can I do it?
Yes. You want to get the IRS off your back.
Okay.
Give us the numbers.
You have 110 plus 35?
No, including 35.
Oh, including 35. Okay. All right. And what's the rest of that debt?
Car loan, cell phone, personal loans, credit cards, you name it.
So you're just pretty much normal, right?
How much is your car loan?
Yeah. The car loan right now is at $12,000.
Okay.
How much do you make a year?
I make anywhere between 55 to 75.
55 to 75. Are you married?
I recently got married 2 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations. So,
thank you.
How much does your partner make?
He makes between 35 to 40,000.
Okay. How much debt's he got?
And he has no debt.
No
debt at all.
Okay. So combined, y'all are about 80 to 110, right?
Yes.
And now you got to get this IRS off your back. ASAP, all get that off. And I know we have the baby steps and we talk about going in order there, but you got to get rid of that IRS debt.
Okay, so put everything else on pause and just attack the IRS.
Yeah, you want to get that out of here. And then you'll work the debt snowball like normal, where you list your debts from smallest to largest by balance, regardless of interest rate, and then you will knock those out. But yeah, you got to get serious with that one. That's not one you want to drag out, and that's not one you want to have any problems with.
Have you and your new husband, have y'all been through Financial Peace University, the class?
No.
Okay, so our wedding gift to you, congratulations. I'm gonna give you a year's worth of Ramsey Plus subscription for free. So stay on the line here, and we'll get you a subscription there. And I want you and your husband. Here's the thing, though. It's an expensive gift we're giving you. Y'all have to commit to going through all 9 lessons, and this is gonna set your entire marriage up for success. And it's gonna walk you through how do we get out of this giant $110,000 hole that we've started our marriage in as quickly as possible. Is that cool?
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Do I have your commitment? You're going to work through it?
Yes.
Excellent. I love it, love it, love it. All right, congratulations. And yeah, next step, let's get it going. But get the IRS out of your life forever, because they'll be back in April for more. Let's go to Antonio in Phoenix. Hola, Antonio. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
Doing good, thank you.
So what's up?
So the reason I called in is I was basically looking for some advice. I'm a pretty huge automotive enthusiast, and I know you guys always say don't finance, buy in cash. And so I've been saving up for quite a while, and I ended up purchasing one of my dream cars. And
what'd you get?
Now I'm kind of I bought a Skyline GTR.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what that is, Antonio. How much did it cost?
It cost me $41.
Okay, so like give or take a Toyota Camry.
give or take maybe like a Prelude.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so you're one of those guys. All right, so
yeah,
you got this car. You paid for it in cash?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding, man. All right, so what's up?
Thank you. So now I'm kind of in a tough financial situation because I did just blow
$40,000
in cash. Yes, sir.
How much do you make?
And
a year?
How much do I make? I make $35 a year.
Oh, Antonio.
Oh, okay.
What are you doing, brother?
Does that feel wrong as you say it out loud, Antonio?
Yeah.
Does that feel wrong in the same breath? I paid $41,000 for a car, and I make $35,000 a year.
It doesn't feel wrong because I bought it in cash.
Okay. It should. It should. That just means your radar's out of tune.
We're here to help set it straight.
You did it close to right, so good for you.
Yes, partially right.
Yes, you did it less wrong, so we'll high five you. Are you going to ask us, should you sell this? Yes. The answer is yes.
Sell the car?
Yes.
You don't have the money for it.
You don't have enough money for that car.
Here's the deal, Antonio. If you were making $100,000 a year, you were completely debt-free, you had all your investments, had worked the baby steps, you had everything else on track, and you wanted to pay cash for a $41,000 car, cool. Yeah. That's a very different scenario than the one that you're in. You saved up in cash, but you weren't ready for that, and you can't afford that in other areas of your life, which you called in explaining.
Do you have other debt, brother?
I do not. I'm debt free.
Okay. Where do you live?
I live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Do you have
like a house or an apartment or something like that?
Oh, gotcha. I live in a townhouse.
Okay.
Do you have an emergency fund?
As of now, I use my emergency fund to buy the GTR.
See, and there's problem number 2, Antonio. That car wasn't an emergency. You were doing great with your savings. You had an emergency fund if an emergency were to happen. Now you're struggling, paying bills, making ends meet. If an emergency occurred, you would have had that fund to pay for it. That's what it's for, not for the dream car. I'm not saying you can't have the dream car one day. I think you can. I think you will. But using your emergency fund for it was not wise. And yes, you need to sell it. You need to put that money back in savings. You need to get your income up, save some more, save and save and save and save. And when your income is up and you have a really good savings above and beyond your emergency fund for a car, then sure, buy you a car.
Yeah.
You try to skip some steps and do it a little faster.
A car should not be more than half of your annual income.
Mm-mm.
At the and in my house, we're way below that. Mm-hmm. Way below that.
To avoid this exact scenario we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because it's indicative of having your strategy backwards, that we're going to pay more for a car than we make in a whole year.
In a whole year.
Even if you saved and paid cash for it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
You work. Hey, but here's what you proved. You proved you can work really hard.
Yep. And save.
You can save. And you can put your eyes on a goal. So, yeah, your goal is going to be having a fully funded emergency fund and making more than $35,000 a year. Mm-hmm. So you using that willpower and that grit and determination and go crank it up and get that income up and go from there. Man, 41. Whew. All right, let's do another question. We're running up against the clock here. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Questions for Humans, JohnDelaney.com or RamseySolutions.com. These are your family savers. Do what, James? Okay. I thought James was going to come in with one, too. He's going to embarrass me.
Okay, I'm ready. I got one for you.
All right, which one is this?
These are for kids.
Okay, there's 3 decks. There's one for couples, one for that you can do with your kids for multi-generation. So I'm thinking about Christmases where all anybody wants to talk about is the latest conspiracy theory YouTube clip or COVID. And this is going to give everybody from grandparents to children a new way to learn and talk to each other. And there's another one for friends that y'all are all having drinks, and this helps grease the wheels there. So go for it.
Okay. I just changed my mind. I got several here I'm going to ask you throughout the day, but I like this one. What was your favorite birthday?
Oh, man.
I love birthdays. I'm like a high I on the disc. I've got some Enneagram 7 in me. I love to celebrate. So I get excited about holidays and birthdays. What was your favorite?
Well, this is going to be a cheesy answer, but it's the truth. My favorite one was my 24th birthday because I invited all my friends to my birthday, and then I surprised my wife by asking her to marry me on my birthday.
Oh, totally that should be your favorite. Anything else would be amazing.
Well, my mom makes a dope cake, so I was thinking all the cakes she made were good. But yeah, that was a great birthday. That was fun.
That's a really good one.
What about you? What's your favorite birthday?
Cha-ching? I don't know.
You don't even know.
I mean, I love them all for different reasons. Oh, I take it back. Last summer, a couple of couples, we went to the lake house and did an adults-only couples weekend. No kids, went tubing, riding the boat, staying out late.
Great.
It was awesome.
Hey, questions for humans. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. It's an hour in the book. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
It's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money, your life, your relationships, your mental health, your small business, anything and everything. I'm John Deloney, joined here by Christy Wright, and we are talking to you, good folks, about whatever's on your mind. Give us a shout, 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. Let's go to John out in Flint, Michigan. What's up, brother John?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. So I'm actually kind of in a bad mental state and kind of got thrown into a situation where it kind of put my family behind. So I kind of dug myself more in debt.
What's going on?
So about 2 months ago, I got laid off from my job because they weren't really willing to work with my schedule needing to take care of my wife and my kids due to my wife having a neurological disorder. So they laid me off. I was able to pick up a job really quickly, but I had to wait a month to pick back up. Now with the new job, I'm making a little bit more hourly, but I'm also losing out on a bonus. So I'm kind of losing money. So I'm just kind of in a rough spot trying to get myself back on my feet and my family back on their feet, and not really sure where to go because my schedule with work now kind of puts me in a situation where I can't pick up a second job.
Sure.
So
let's back up a little bit.
Only sleeping.
Is your number one? You got a lot going on. Just want to honor you for a second and just say, "Whew, it's a lot." Man, your wife's struggling and she's hurting. Your kids are just kids. How old are they?
7 and 3.
Yeah, you're in it, man. You are all in it. Everything from is God real to changing diapers still. Like you're in it, right? I guess you're not changing diapers at 3 anymore, but who knows? When you say your family's behind or you're losing money, I want you to expand on that a little bit. Do you have enough money to pay your bills, or have y'all just got behind for a month and it's just going to take some time to catch up? Is this an existential behind, or is this a we don't have enough money for food behind?
It was we don't have enough money for food behind, but my mother-in-law did step in and to help me with a couple grand, or not a couple grand, but a couple $100 to help us buy some food. but a lot of what ended up being was put onto a credit card, which threw us about $3,000 deeper into debt.
Okay, you had a hurricane hit you, and you survived. And so what's done is done, and there's a period at the end of that sentence. What does today look like? Do you make enough money to pay your bills?
Yeah, I'll be making, I think, 95 or between 75 and 95 a year now with the new job. Okay. So I mean, I'll be able to float, but I'm also, I mean, just in student loans alone, I'm almost $350,000 in debt.
What did you take out $315,000 in student loans for?
So I I got my law degree.
Okay.
I have not passed my state bar.
Okay.
This was a couple of years ago that I graduated. But with life and everything, I haven't been able to study and take the bar again.
Okay.
But I'm a mortgage underwriter, and I am doing well with that.
Yeah. There's a lot of lawyers not making that kind of money.
Yeah.
And your wife can't work, right? She's got neurological challenges?
Yes, with neurological disorder. I mean, she has her own business. She does do cosmetic stuff with her own business. But it's only been open for a couple of years, so it's been in negative for the most part. But I mean, she is trying to do more with that now.
Okay. The reality is, yeah, you're in a hard situation, and at some point you're gonna have to make the shovel bigger. It sounds like right now y'all are gonna have to survive for a season.
Do y'all have family nearby at all?
We have family by, but they're not really able to help any.
Okay. The thing that's jumping out to me, John, as you're asking all the details about this, is you need some support, John.
Yeah, you need a break.
And I don't know where that comes in. I don't know if it's help with the kids, help with your wife, help with both. Someone to help your wife, help her business become profitable. She doesn't have a business. She has a hobby right now.
It's losing money, yeah.
I think it could become profitable. Right now it's actually draining your bank account instead of enhancing it. And I don't know what her capacity is, but if she had help, she may be able to actually contribute to the income, especially if she enjoys doing it. But I think you need help. Like you cannot do this by yourself. You're making a good income, and yes, you can tackle this debt. But the shortest route between you and being debt free with everything you've got going on is going to be to get some help in your corner. And I don't know what that looks like.
That's where I just don't have it. There's really no one to kind of help or support or anything like that.
Are there any resources from the medical community in your area or church community? I mean, let's think outside the box here, because I do believe there's some help. Maybe we just haven't explored a creative outlet for that.
John, what I hear,
we've reached out. Yeah, we reached out to my daughter's school. They go to a church, a Lutheran school. They said that they were going to look into help us get kind of sponsored there. Haven't heard anything back on that. We reached out to our church. They really weren't in a situation to really help us really at all either.
Here's John.
So I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean,
but listen.
The only thing I really haven't looked into was my VA kind of help.
Are you're a veteran as well?
Yes.
Yes. So it sounds like a guy who is exhausted and overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. Am I fair? Is that fair?
Very much so.
Okay. Even saying I owe $300,000 in student loans, I make upwards of $95,000 a year, and I have a lot. I'm smart enough to get through law school. I've struggled with the bar. That's fine. Lots of brilliant people do. And I don't know how we're going to make ends meet, but I got to keep my kids in private school. There's just some hard conversations, some hard realities you'll have to face. That we're still running a makeup cosmetic business, but it's failing. Y'all have to have some hard conversations in your home. You, my brother, need to. And you've reached a point where those conversations are all taking place at the exact same time in your head, and it's overwhelming. You're starting to feel like you're drowning. Am I right?
Yep.
Yes. So here's the bravest, strongest thing you can do in this season of your life is go find somebody to talk to. Whether that's a mentor, whether that's a friend that you trust, whether that's a counselor. You could say, I don't have enough money. I'm telling you right now, you don't have enough money not to. Go sit down with somebody, and what they're going to walk you just need somebody to sit with for a second and begin to pull all these thoughts that are looping and spinning. Begin to pull them apart and say, is this true or is this not? Is this your reality forever? Or is this your reality for right now? yes, 1,000%. I know you want to stay away from the VA. They've got resources for you. Give them a call. If you don't call them, that's your pride talking. And we need to put that aside and start dealing with some of these emergencies here. And like Christy said, people may not be able to help you with cash, but they may be able to help you with your time. They may be able to just let you and your wife go on a walk.
Write a list of what you need. What specific tactical help do you need? And then start looking for people to fill those gaps. I think sometimes when you're overwhelmed, you don't know what you need.
If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend and best-selling author, Christy Wright. We're taking your calls on life and money, relationships, small businesses, everything. 888-825-5225. Christy, we talked about another hour. The Questions for Humans is here.
I'm so excited about this because I love fun conversations, and this is literally this another subtitle could be Fun Conversation Starters, because you just ask such interesting questions that bring fun conversations to life. I love it.
Thank you. So we talked about this previously. This comes from like so many folks have written into my show saying, all right, so we're doing all the stuff you say. We are all getting together and having connection time. And
no screens.
And we have no screens, and now we're just staring at each other. We don't know what to do next. Or we just keep talking, and all it ends up talking about is politics and drama and crap. And so we created 3 decks of cards. They're called Questions for Humans. There's one for friends. You and your buddies just going out to have a drink, chips and salsa. You're grabbing a cigar. You're just going to talk, and you're going to pull these things out. This is a good way for people who don't know how to be vulnerable with each other. It can be like, no, I just got to answer the question, bro. And it's helpful. Or just couples are going out with other couples. And there's one for people who are romantic with one another. And they have had the last 24 months, and they're not so romantic anymore. And we are staring at each other, and we're tired of talking about our kids and mask policies and your opinions on the vaccine. But there is no COVID, no politics. Just had to reconnect. And then we got another deck of cards that I envision for moms and dads in pickup lines at schools, just trying to engage in conversations with their kids. It's multi-generational, so grandparents can talk to their grandkids around a Thanksgiving table, stocking stuffers, whatever. So a lot of fun. Pull one out there and ask one.
All right, I love this one. What does it mean to be cool? This one's for kids, but I want you to answer it.
What does it mean
You're
to be
like
cool?
A grown-up kid sometimes, Deloney.
Strongly disagree. What does it mean to be cool?
Yeah,
it means...
I know, I'm really ready for your answer.
If I answer, being cool means I am secure in myself, and I don't care what other people think about the things that I'm currently doing.
I could not agree more.
Is that fair?
Confidence, just being you and being okay with being you.
That's a better word. Yeah.
Yeah, being confident. To me, that is the coolest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so people think, it's the leather jacket or it's the shoes. It's not. It's how that person's walking through a room.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. See, that's cool.
My son Carter, one of his best friends, I mean, these are 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
But I've spent a lot of time with him, and he's not the coolest kid in the class. I'm doing air quotes here of like, I don't think he's like the most popular. He is so confident though. Yeah. And to me, he is absolutely the coolest. When you're around him, he's just like, yeah, I'm just me. Like he's not trying to impress anybody. He's just good with whatever.
My son rolls like that.
Yes.
I'll say, how do you leave the house looking like that? His shirt's inside out, hair's all, and he's like, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And I
he's
think,
like, I'm good with it.
I would love to be as cool as my kid. That's so cool. All right, let's go to Louis in San Jose, California. What's up, Louis?
Hi, John. Hi, Christy. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, it's Lois. Lois.
Yep.
Lois.
Ugh,
Yes.
the reading. All right, so what's up?
That's okay. Thank you so much, both of you. I love all your shows and the Big Uncle Ramsey show. So I'm in baby step 2 and just about to complete the last student loans that I have, $20,000.
All right.
Congratulations.
By the way, thank you. By the way, I hope my accent doesn't get in the way.
No, we got you.
You're good.
Was brought up here. So, okay. I wanted to ask, we just found out about Dave Ramsey 2 years ago, and we were beginning to build our own house. And I was $90,000 in debt, and he just messed me up. So I've been paying off the debt, and I completed building our house this last August. We dedicated the home. It's worth $150,000. It's not in this country, so that's worth more. But we want to start a small business, and I'm hoping to complete the debt payment in December, end of December. So I was wondering, should I invest in retirement, put more money in retirement, or invest in a small business that my husband and I want to invest in? And that's my question. And the next question I had was, how do I take investments for a Roth account? Because I just recently opened one and I am just in a blackout.
Okay, I have some follow-up questions, Lois. So I just want to make sure I'm tracking with you here. When you say you have $20,000 left in debt, that has nothing to do with the house, right? That's just consumer debt.
Yeah, so, the $20,000 I'm going to pay is student loans, about $16,000, and the last credit card that I have, about $4,000.
Okay, and did you say that you paid $150,000 to build a house not in this country?
Yes. We built our house in cash. We were born raised in Kenya, so we built a nice house in Kenya. We just wanted to go back and build something nice back home. Previously, I had built a house for my mother also in cash. So I was not following the baby steps. I was just focused on giving my family something better than what I had when I grew up. Yeah.
No, that's great. So where do you live here?
So I live in Sunnyvale. I work for Stanford Healthcare. So I live in the Bay Area.
Do you own a home here? Do you rent?
No, so I moved from a house that was costing us about $5,000 a month to an apartment that's costing me about $2,000 a month. Just when I found out about Dave Ramsey, so that has allowed me to save quite a bit to pay off a lot of debt.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I've got all the details here because there's a lot going on here. Are you familiar with our baby step? I know you said you're familiar with Dave Ramsey. Are you familiar with our baby steps and the order that they go in?
Yes, I attended SBU 2 years ago.
Oh, awesome.
And I began to budget, but I was building. I just started to build. So I'm budgeting for the building with $1,000 in emergency fund. I think I had emergencies every month. But,
sure. I could see that. Yeah. I could see that. Well, I just want to, you've got a couple kind of not complicated, but a couple different situations here because of the house you're talking about and so on. But let's just talk about today here in the United States, you in California, you're really still in baby step number 2. And so do you have $1,000 like somewhere set aside for some type of emergency?
Yes.
Okay. So we've got that.
Yeah, that I have religiously, yeah.
Okay, great. So you're going to pay off that last bit of debt. You said you're very close, about $20,000 left, and then you're going to be debt-free. But there's still some things that you want to do before you save up to buy a house here potentially, or before you start investing in baby step 4. And that's you're going to be in baby step 3, where you save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a savings account above and beyond past. This is after your debt. So you're going to build up that $1,000 to 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then you really just need to make a decision at that point. Do you want to save up for a down payment on a house, or do you want to invest in a business? And I don't, what kind of business are you thinking about starting?
So we want to start a hardware business, a hardware store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the type of thing where that's going to take some startup cost. I would still encourage you to think of your kind of 1.0 version of your idea, but let's get out of debt, get 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up. And then you sit down with your spouse and you have a conversation about what the next goal is. If you guys are wanting to buy a house, you might want to go ahead and start saving for that and figure out how you could start this business at the smallest viable option to prove your idea, prove your concept, begin to serve the marketplace. Maybe you sublease a corner of an existing retail storefront. You're not taking on the overhead of a full lease and that type of thing. Prove your concept and start to build that business on a small scale. And then you're just not having all that cost up front while you get some cash in the door, prove the concept, and then you can gradually build it up. But you're doing great. We just need to get that emergency fund main thing right now.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're scattered.
Yeah.
And whenever you start feeling scattered, whenever I start feeling scattered, I've been doing this for years, and even I start feeling scattered, always just got to go back to those 7 little simple steps.
Yeah, in order.
I overcomplicate it and
Right.
just need to get right back in order.
Right.
And not over-dramatize and overcomplicate it. And don't take out money to start this hardware business, Lois.
No.
You've worked too hard to be debt-free. Congratulations on your success. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
If you're ready to get out there and find a job you love, then you need to hear this. Job hunting can be stressful and time-consuming, but my friends at ZipRecruiter have made the whole job search way easier. ZipRecruiter is rated the #1 job site in the US by G2, and it's free. So how does it work? First, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Then create a free profile and let their technology do the hard work by finding and sending you jobs that are a great fit. And get this, ZipRecruiter pitches your profile to companies whose jobs match your skills and experience. If someone from that company likes your profile, they can personally invite you to apply for the job. So if you're ready for an easier job search, check out ZipRecruiter. Sign up for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Sign up today absolutely free and let ZipRecruiter work for you.
This is The Ramsey Show, and we have a beautiful person on the debt-free stage. Pamela, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Good. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
You're going to do great.
You're doing great already.
Deloney's more nervous than you. Don't even worry about
I
it.
assure you, I am more nervous than you. Yes. Okay, so Pamela, where are you from?
I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
Excellent.
Yes, I've been in Tennessee now 6 years.
We're so glad that you're here.
Thank
awesome.
you.
And then what brought you to Tennessee?
Oh, man. Back home life is really hard.
Okay.
So I needed to be able to pursue, my career. So I moved here just for opportunities, literally with a suitcase and $500 in my bank account.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a story. All right, so how much have you paid off?
$28,803.
And how long did that take you?
18 months.
Whoa. How much were you making?
At the beginning, I was making about $31,500. Ended up with 45 at the end of this.
Awesome.
So, making 45,000?
Mm-hmm.
So you paid off almost 30 grand, 18 months. That means you got after it.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so what in the world happened 18 months ago that you said enough is enough?
Gosh.
I'm freaking Pamela, and it's time.
March 2020.
Okay.
Yes. It was maybe 2 weeks before the big shutdown here in Tennessee.
Tell me what happened in March of 2020. I don't remember. Is there anything? Wow. Okay, so they shut down everything.
Yes. I work in mental health, so we're always open. And 2 days before payday, my car broke down, and they asked for $975 to pay it off, to fix it. And I looked at my bank account, and I'm like, my credit cards are back, completely maxed. I don't have any money. I have to wait until payday. So I had to call out of work because I didn't have a car to get to work, and I didn't have the money to fix it, so I had to ask my mom for money at 33. That's terrible, embarrassing. And that kind of was just the stop. I was too afraid. I was very afraid of what was going on in the world, and then this was happening too, and I just had it.
So how did you get connected with us? How did you get connected with Ramsey and the plan and all that?
Yeah, I've always been very frugal, but I've always tried to figure out better ways to do it. I was just kind of ish before I even knew I was ish.
Okay.
And I had listened to one of his YouTube videos in the past, about a year and a half ago, a year before I started this whole thing. And I heard him calling people stupid, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not me. I'm not going to listen to this guy. And then fast forward, I had to sit down with myself and say, I don't care if he's calling people stupid. I didn't feel that I was being stupid. I was just trying to survive here.
Yeah.
But the reality is that it was still the same effect. I might not be stupid, but I'm still in debt, and I need to fix this.
You may not be stupid, but your choices aren't the best.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
And so March of 2020 comes. Your snow globe just gets shaken 6 ways to Sunday, and you said no more. What was your next step?
Well, I needed to fix my car. That was the first thing. And I knew that I needed to get a job. Even though everything was shutting down, I needed to find that money. Yeah. I looked around my house. I don't have a lot to sell just because everything was like secondhand, and I'm like, nobody's going to buy this. So I knew that meant for me that I had to sweat. This was going to be sweat equity. So I started working with a cleaning company.
Wow.
And a couple months later, I decided to open up my own business.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. And is it a cleaning business or something else?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so do you not work in mental health anymore?
I do both.
You do both. Well, and I guess cleaning business is the mental health business too.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Yes. You get to see some things doing that work.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yes. Wow. So if you were to back out and be talking to, I don't know, a couple of million people like you are right now, what would you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
I think the first thing, you have to be real about yourself. Just look yourself in the mirror and really say, we need to fix this. This is not the way that we were intended to live. We were not put in this earth to struggle the way that we are right now. So we need to fix it.
How did you bridge that gap? Because I know a lot of mental health professionals, a lot of them, I got a lot of close friends who are really good at walking alongside other people with their challenges. But it's really hard to look in the mirror. How did you make that turn? Because that's especially hard for a mental health professional.
Honestly, so you're going to think this is really silly, but I teach groups in the hospital that I work at. And I teach goal-setting groups, and I'm looking at all my stuff, preparing for my classes, and I said, I have all the information that I need to do this. So why am I not doing it? Why?
Wow.
So that day I just had enough.
Wow. So did people around you think you were nuts?
A little.
Tell me who you thought was crazy. Who thought you were crazy?
My family, for sure. Yeah. They were very skeptical of me doing both jobs. My coworker, Libby, she's here with me today. She was actually the first person I told about my whole journey, day one, because I had to call her and let her know, hey, I can't come to work. Can you cover for me? Yeah.
Who were your biggest cheerleaders?
Libby, of course.
Libby, yeah.
Yes. My coworkers, I have a little squad. My supervisor, Kayla. I have a lot of people that came up along the way that God put in my place. There was no reason for them to bet on me, but they did. So I'm forever grateful for my Dixons, my Greens, my Nobles, and my Morrisons.
Wow.
That's amazing. How does it feel? I mean, you've got all the debt gone now, and you've worked so hard. How does it feel?
Amazing. For the longest time, where I'm from, the man is the head of the household, so you don't have to worry about finances. But I'm here, I'm 30, and I'm single, and I'm going, I need to fix this.
Yeah.
And now I feel empowered.
Yeah.
I can do it. I can do anything.
I love that. I love that confidence, and it started with ownership and looking at the person in the mirror. I just love your attitude of I am the problem, I'm the solution, I'm going to fix this, and that attitude has carried you all the way through this.
That's right.
And then you got some people that walked alongside you, held you accountable.
Yes.
And you could call on the hard days. So one of the most common things we get is excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm looking at a woman who came to the United States 6 years ago with a backpack and dug yourself a hole and then you dug yourself out of it. Yep. What do you tell that person right now who's is afraid to look in the mirror, who doubts themselves? I can't do this. I can't figure this out.
You know what? Pray. Okay. Pray. I was a lost sheep when I got here. And this whole process has just led me to believe you need to look at God. You need to walk closer to God.
Very cool. All right, Pamela. Pamela from Puerto Rico via Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right.
Paid off $28,800 in 18 months, making a little less than $45,000. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, count it down.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Yeah!
That's awesome. I love her. She's so sweet.
She's so sweet, but I wouldn't fight her.
No, I hope not.
No, I mean
for so many reasons.
For the main reason is I wouldn't fight her. But
great start.
That's a human being with determination and grit and strength.
Yes, but I love the attitude. I love the personal responsibility. And you know what's so interesting? People may not realize this, but when we answer calls all day, when we host this show, we can often tell if someone's actually going to do it or not.
Almost.
We give them the same answer
every time. We get off the air and be like, not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to rock it.
Everything's different now.
And you can tell in her voice. Had we talked to her 18 months ago when she started, we would have said, oh, yeah, she's really going to do it. Because you can tell the attitude of ownership. That's not the only variable, but that's a big one. On whether or not you feel in control of your destiny, your outcome, controlling what you can control, and making it happen. And the people that believe they have some level of control and they're going to take the bull by the horns, they go do it. They go move things. They go make things happen. And I love seeing that example.
And I'm a guy that makes excuses. And we're a culture of people who make excuses.
Yeah.
And it's when I come to work and somebody like Pamela just shows up and just takes them all away. Like I showed up on your doorstep 6 years ago, with a backpack. What do you got to say for yourself,
what are you doing?
John?
That's right.
And I'm like, well,
I had a hard morning. I didn't have enough coffee, and I was feeling bad about myself. And
it's like, oh, cool. I did this all by myself, and I crushed everything.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. And to those of you who are walking alongside people on their journey, thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank you to the friends and the family and the community that is cheering people on, even if you think they're nuts. And if somebody's in your life and they're telling you, oh man, I'm going to get debt free, and you're like, what? Just watch them. Just watch them change everything, because you can change too. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. And Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply.
Today's question comes from Grace in Utah. Here's what Grace writes. My husband has worked as an independent insurance contractor for 4 years. I joined the business 3 years ago, which is how I met him. I've been the sole income earner for the past few years, but recently became a stay-at-home mom. My husband has been using my credit card for basic necessities like gas, food, etc. He's made no income and has depleted our emergency funds and Roth IRA just to pay for our rent and basic living necessities. I love my husband very much, but he is not taking necessary steps to take care of his family. How do I help him realize it's okay to look for other sources of income or to step it up in his business?
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay. Not taking steps to take care of his family is understatement of the century.
He is burning your family to the ground.
He's destroying you.
To the ground.
He's not just not taking care of you, he's destroying you.
From the inside out. He's destroying your trust, your self-confidence, your financial future, your current future. He is burning your family to the ground. How do I help him realize it's okay to look for other sources of income? It's not okay. He has to today. If your house was on fire, you wouldn't say, I need to, I'll use your words. How do I help my husband realize that we probably should head out into the front yard because the house is on fire? You would start screaming, hit every alarm, knock over furniture on the way to get to your kids and get your husband and get out in the yard. That's where we're at right now.
There are so many problems with this.
Yeah.
One of the things that jumped out to me at the very beginning of the question. So he's been an independent insurance contractor for 4 years. She joined the business 3 years ago, which is how she met him, and she's been the sole income earner for the past few years. If 3 is few, he met her and hasn't been making any money since, or somewhere around that time frame.
No, he's never made a penny.
And so then, Grace, you became a stay-at-home mom. You can't become a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-mm.
You don't have any money to become a stay-at-home mom.
You have no
He's
emergency.
not making money, and you're not making any money.
Yeah.
And your money's not combined either, by the way. It has not stopped him from draining it. But when you say he used your credit card, well, there are so many problems.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to start at the beginning.
So, Grace, hear us say, this is a level 1 emergency. This is DEFCON 1. You're on life support now. You have no money. You're broke. Your husband has set your house on fire. And you are not recognizing the severity of where you are. And I actually think you do. I think you're brilliant. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been you wouldn't have been successful here. I think you're smart. I think you're strong. And I think this has become so real that it's become so acute that it's almost become a cartoon. And so what Christy and I are telling you is this is a huge deal. You got to turn all the lights on, turn the music off. This dance is over, and y'all have to get very serious. He needs to go start working 3 jobs this weekend, and he needs to close this nonsense business, and y'all got to start earning some money. And the days of you being a stay-at-home mom are probably over too.
And what if he doesn't? Like, he's never made money in their marriage.
Right.
So he's never proven that he's capable of it or interested in it.
Right.
So for that, and I'm genuinely asking you, John, because these are those hard situations.
I tell everybody in this type of situation, you have to have an or what moment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have in your head, put both hands on your counter and look yourself in the mirror and say, or what? Mm-hmm. And that is, I'm going to tell my husband, you will never hit me again today. Or what? I'm going to tell my son, you will not bring drugs into my house again. Or what? Mm-hmm. You've got to have that moment. And this is financial abuse. This is wrong on every level. And so at this point, I've got children. This is a scary situation. She's got to have her or what moment.
Mm-hmm. And I want you to speak into this too, where one of the close to the last line says, I love my husband very much, but he's not taking the necessary steps to take care of his family. Talk about how love plays into this. Like, I love this person. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I surely he doesn't mean to. He just hasn't been able to find work. Well, he just, and because we love them, we make excuses for them.
That's right.
So how do you help someone? Yes, you love them.
That's not love. That's codependency.
Okay. Yep.
That is, my value in my world is through my attachment to you.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to just chain myself to your leg as we drown.
Yeah.
And what I want Grace to know is that you have more value than this. Your kids need you. And by the way, you knew this when you married him. You saw how he ran his business. You knew they weren't making any money. That's why you're making money. You knew this. And here it is. You got to pay the piper. And he does too. My hope is that you flipping the lights on and saying enough's enough, that he will go, oh, thank God.
He'll step it up.
I didn't know how to get out of this either. I was in quicksand, and Grace saved me, literally. Mm-hmm. But it's time. It's time. And to answer your question, if you were in a relationship right now and your question is, your statement to yourself is, but I love him, or but I love her. She cheats on me. He hits me. He yells me, but I love her. That's not an excuse anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're worth more than that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's good. I just wanted you to say it out loud because someone needs to hear that.
Grace.
Whew, man. Okay.
All right, let's go to Darcy out in Toronto. Hey, Darcy, what's going on?
Everything is with an accent.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. What's up?
I have a question about how to ensure that I can set my business up for success in the long term.
Excellent. Bring it on.
Yeah, so I own a small business. My wife and I own a business, a digital marketing agency. We run it out of our home. And we've been doing it for 2 years, but I've been doing this kind of work for my whole life, probably the last 10 to 15 years. And I hear a lot of people talk. Everyone always says that you want to own a business and not own a job. And I'm pretty sure right now you would classify us as owning a job. I mean, essentially, if I died tomorrow, the business would collapse. So that aside, what's so wrong about owning a job? If we don't have goals for long-term growth, massive growth, and hiring a bunch of employees and really building this thing to something huge, if we're comfortable with the income that we make now, the hours we work, and sustaining that, maybe growing it a little bit, is there anything really wrong with that, or am I I just want to make sure that we're on the right track?
Yeah, I love this question, Darcy, because people define success in certain metrics as if that's the only version of success. Like your version of success is your top line revenue, your number of retail locations, your number of team members, and that's not the only way to define success. I work with business owners at all different stages, and what I try to encourage them is I want to help you define your version of success so you can achieve it. And if that's $10,000 a year in a side gig to pay for Disney, or if it's $1 million a year because you want to grow this thing, that's cool. Here's what I would encourage you that is a benefit to growing enough or scaling enough your business model so that you don't just own your job. It's so that you can take some time off and still get paid. So whether you scale your business in hiring team members, that's not the only way to scale it. You could scale your business and say, I'm going to have courses, I'm going to have multiple streams of income, residual income, a subscription-based model where, Darcy, you could take a vacation, you could take Fridays off, and then you got mailbox money. Money's still coming in. The business just is not as dependent on you. And so I would encourage people to diversify their income sources for that reason, just so you've got more flexibility for your life if you want to travel, take a vacation, or if you get sick, because when you own your job, if you're not working, you're not getting paid. So that's the benefit to that. But yeah, if you are happy with your income and happy with the business, the only version of success that matters is your version of success. And so if this is success to you, then I think that you should do exactly what you want to do. If it's serving your life in the way that you want it to, that's why we go into business anyway. Serve the marketplace and for you to have the life that you want. It sounds like you're doing it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Your success is your success, right?
Yeah. You get to decide what that looks like, and if you're doing it and somebody else doesn't like it, well, they got their own life, their own business. They can do what they want.
I do like Dave's picture, which is he just takes Fridays off now.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool too. That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
All right, it's another hour in the books. Thanks, Christy. Thank you, James Childs. Thank you, Kelly Daniels. We'll be right back on The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even send clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the Ramsey headquarters here in Nashville, Tennessee, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your relationships, your life, and your money. I'm John Deloney, joined here by my good friend and best-selling author, Christy Wright, and we are taking your calls on life and money, relationships, businesses, everything. 888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Erica. Not Erica. Regular old Eric, but not right. We'll go to Eric in Columbia. Hey, Eric, what's up?
Oh, good. First off, I love Sex for Lovers. That's a great song.
Excellent.
And secondly, I just wanted to respond to that other person and say Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson.
I'm talking about the Man in the Mirror. I like that.
That is every day you look. That's you talking about yourself.
I love it, man.
And,
so how can we help today? Thanks for calling. What's up?
I've just been dealing with, I had a divorce, and then a 2-year relationship pretty much right after that. That just went completely downhill. Of course, COVID's been terrible, and I'm a handyman because I'm trying to not work as much as possible to take or to be around my 10-year-old daughter.
Okay.
I only get her every other weekend, which is so I can't work those weekends, and sometimes places when you're in service industry, they don't want that. And of course, with COVID, that's just a difficult situation. I paid for my college outright, didn't enjoy what I was going to do, and I've just been struggling as far as what I really want to do. I'm 36 years old. This friend of mine told me to pick up this life insurance company. I don't know what to do, honestly. Get back to bartending, or I can make good money bartending, or I need
so Eric,
advice.
What do you want to do, man?
What do I want to really do? I would love to teach children how to play golf, but that's $20,000 a semester for the SCGA in Orlando, Florida, and that would also be 7.5 hours away from my daughter.
Okay, so you seem to have desires in your life, and then you immediately throw up roadblocks as to why you can't have them. I want to have in one of the hottest, if not easily the hottest, handyman market of my lifetime. Yeah, but the weekend stuff, and some people aren't going to like this. And I really would love to do golf, but that's too far away and that's too much money, so I'm not going to do that. And you have these ideas and these dreams and these hopes, and you know about looking in the mirror. You told me the song right when the call started. But there's something between you and taking that action. Is it a years of being burned? Are you just tired, man?
Yes, I actually ran for pretty much until I was about 34.
Yep.
Nonstop. And then when I hit 35, I was cutting down a tree with a handsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And my ex-wife was not helping at all with anything and in the yard. I was doing everything. And then, I literally, pretty much gave myself a stroke.
Yeah.
I had to get, my dog was a service dog. My blood pressure was 210.
Yeah, just your draw, just your spirit on the phone is a guy who is just cashed out. And then you told me about this beautiful 10-year-old little girl that you got.
Oh, yeah.
That you don't get to see enough.
My life, her and my dog, those are the two things that are keeping me, but I'm trying to stay motivated.
I got you. And here's what I need you to see. The best way you can honor that little girl and love that little girl is to love her daddy.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to love her daddy.
I'm about to pick her up in about an hour. So
there you go. Because right now she's absorbing this, brother. And I want you to find joy, and I want you to find peace, and I want you to find a spark again, and your spark's gone out. And life happened to you, man. Life happened to you hard. It's hit you in the mouth a bunch. But the question is, not all the things that happen. That's happened, dude. And you'll spend years unwinding that. The question is, what are you going to do today?
That's right.
That's right.
And that's what, I need to...
hold on.
5 minutes to vent and then just...
No. Your body's been running and fighting for a long time, man. You're tired. It's okay to rest. It's okay to rest, man.
Yes, sir.
But you got to start loving Eric, and you don't love Eric right now. You're sick of Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, how much are you working right now as a handyman? How many hours a week?
I work as much as I possibly can because I used to bartend, and most of my clients are people that I bartended for, and I do like pretty much anything I have the tools to do.
Now, how many hours?
And whenever they let me, it depends on rain. I mean, it's
nope.
Give or take, I would say 20 hours a week.
Okay.
That's 1/3 of the amount of hours you should be working.
How much money do you make a year?
That depends on the job, but at the same time, I mean, at one point, like about 6 years ago, I was making 6 figures.
Right now.
And then right now, I'm making about just 5. If that.
5,000 a year?
No, like 5 figures a year.
Yeah, but that could be 99,000 or 19,000.
Right. I mean, it could. Well, I'm sorry, like less than.
Eric, how much money did you make last year?
Last year I made, like 18.9.
Okay.
All right, Eric, I understand that you've had a hard time. You've gone through a divorce. You had a relationship that let you down. You don't get to see your daughter as much as you want. But all I've heard on this call is excuses. Mm-hmm. That people don't want you to work on every other weekend. That is BS. The handyman market is absolutely exploding. You could be making 6 figures right now if you wanted to, and you could be making 6 figures in 40 hours a week if you wanted to. You could be absolutely rocking it, which would then, the action would get you excited again. The money would give you confidence again. It would change your whole outlook. But man, you have got to stop sitting on the couch and making excuses. Yes, you've had a hard time, but you can change this now. None of those excuses you gave me of the market, handyman, are valid. None of them.
Zero.
None of them. If you told me you were in the cruise industry, I'd be like, all right, it's time to switch gears maybe. You're in the business that is absolutely exploding. You have to do something different. And if you don't, nothing's going to change. John Deloney and I can't fix that for you, man. You got to change your attitude.
You can start loving that little girl's daddy and get after it.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
All right, Christy, I want to talk about that last call we just had.
Okay.
He talked slow. He had lots and lots of excuses. And we let that call go a little bit longer because I wanted to dig in a little bit further. Mm-hmm. And you and I off air were talking about just semantics and language. I've always felt a difference between physical tired. I've been working 90, 120 hours a week, right? And you said somebody comes in and goes, John, you have to take a day off or your body will quit on you, right? And then there's tired, existential tired. Mm-hmm. It's depression. It is your body is saying, we can't handle it anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm out. And the challenge is knowing which one is which, mm-hmm. right? I'm fatigued. I've been just cranking, or I made $18,000 last year. I work a few hours a week, blah, blah. And the challenge is that existential tired. One of the chief solutions is connection. One of the chief solutions is little wins, doing stuff, getting back out there, having a successful job that leads to a successful job and getting it going helps lift your spirit. You find purpose. And so that's the connection that me and you and Ken and Dave, all of our stuff starts to talk about. It all merges together, which is those little bitty wins done over and over leads to that full whole life. And so, man, talking to that guy, I'm telling him, man, you are tired. And I'm thinking existentially, like life has beat him up.
Yeah.
And the solution isn't to lay around more.
Yeah.
It's to get out there and get going, right?
Well, and that's why I wanted to ask, because I was just sensing excuses, and you and I were saying this off air, but I was sensing that, and that's why I wanted to go straight to something measurable. Hey, how many hours a week are you working?
Yeah.
Well, the rain. No, how many hours a week are you working? Well, people, their schedules. No, how many hours a week? Even dodging the question, I'm like, he's not working.
No,
And so.
And living in the past. How much do you make? Well, 6 years ago. I don't care, though. 6 years ago, right?
No, right now.
Yeah.
And so then it brought to light, even for him, I hope, oh man, I'm not working enough. And so I wanted the listener, for all the people listening right now, I wanted to make sure that they were hearing that you or me were not saying, oh, you're tired, take a vacation, sit on your hands somewhere. No. That's not what you need. And I think what I was saying to you off air is I think the average person doesn't discern the difference, because you have such a medical background. The differences here of what's going on in the brain and the body. But the average person here is tired. They just think, man, you're just tired. And I was like, he needs to get going.
Get going.
He needs to get going.
Get going with some gas after. That's right.
Yeah,
so if you find yourself where you are just crushed and you're feeling, I can't get out of bed, put 2 feet on the floor. And if you look in, you're making $18,000 a year and you think, I can't make ends meet, I'm sick of it, I'm tired. Reach out and ask somebody, hey, you got some work for me? And you got some work for me? And I'll work in the rain, and I'll work on Saturdays, and I'll work on Sundays. And if you work hard and you're a person that people want to be around, you'll find work, especially in this crazy market, right? And man, there's nothing that lifts the human spirit like purpose, like being around other people and connecting with them, like doing a job that you need to be there for, and you do a great job. It all works together to lift the human spirit, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to James in San Bernardino. What's up, brother James?
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Outstanding. What's up?
Man, props to whoever puts the songs. Tribe Called Quest, that's great.
That's Ben Hill over there who took over for James Childs. James doesn't play near that good of music, but Ben rocks it.
James is tired. James needs
I love it. Christy, I hope you. Thank you for taking my call, both of you. I wanted to very briefly, Dr. John, Christy, ask you guys if my logic is sound. As you guys know, and I'll try to keep this as brief as possible, home values are exploding. Here in California, they're still pretty high. Back in 2017, a close family member of mine really pushed and was recommending to my wife and myself to purchase a home that, while we could afford the monthly payments, we weren't ready for financially to do the purchase. This is pre-Dave, pre-baby steps. Now the house has exploded in value. This family member gave us the money for the down payment and money to fix it. When we mentioned to them about selling, they got offended, and they're a realtor. And when we were exploring the idea of hiring someone else, it turned really messy. Now I'm questioning my thought process of wanting to sell this house, because you sell the house, sure, where do you go then? Rents here for a 2-bedroom apartment are now $2,500, where years ago it was at, more than $1,000 difference. I want to know if you guys were in this situation, if you would consider doing what we're thinking of, which is to sell, just to try to cut the cord on a possibly toxic family relationship.
Man, there's a lot here to this deal. Chrissy, jump in any moment. I'll talk through it.
Recap the situation here, because we have a family member that's a realtor that helped you buy this house that you can afford the payments of, but they helped you with the down payment, you said?
Yeah, this was 4 years ago.
Yeah, so they feel like they can still be speaking into your financial situation.
And you haven't paid them back.
Well, I would. One of the stipulations is that they requested that if the house ever gets sold, that they want their money back.
Okay.
Which, okay, fine. Take your money back. We're still this jumps us from baby steps 2 into possibly maybe even baby step 3B.
Where would you live, though? Where would you live?
I'm sorry?
Where would you live?
So currently, well, we would actually move in temporarily with our in-laws, which isn't something that I really am too excited about. I love them very much.
Yeah, hold on. And then what? And then what?
Oh, and then try to rent something while we save up a down payment.
Do y'all have any other debt?
Well, after the sale, no, it'll wipe out immediately.
No, let's say that you don't sell. I'm just running some scenarios here. What debt do you have if you hold on to the house?
Hold on to the house, I would have from 120 down to 78. So we have 78,000 left, most of which is student loans.
Okay, so they gave you 50-ish?
They gave us 80.
80,000.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, man, you got a mess here on 15 different levels. And even the fact that you're thinking about doing something else that you haven't thought through fully. So I want to take them off the table. You made a bad house purchase. I don't care if somebody talked you into it. I want you to own
100%.
it. Okay? So you made this call, and they gave you $80,000. And you're kind of in debt to them. It's a hovering debt that's just sitting over you. If you ever sell the house and I want my money back, and if you sell it in 5 years and the market's gone sideways, you're going to owe them whatever. It's a mess. And your solution to this mess is to kind of jump into another situation where you're going to have to move into the house of another family member. So you're doing the exact same thing in the exact same scenario, just in reverse.
Yeah, I want to run some scenarios where you get out of the mess that you're in and you don't get into a new mess. It may be not a preferred situation. You move a little bit further out of town. You rent in a place that is not your favorite neighborhood. But I agree. I think going from one indebtedness familial relationship into another is not the way to solve this. But I do want you to get out from under this weird, tangled house. I mean, if you could have just paid off their debt, if they gave you 30 and you could just pay it off in a few months, I'd say keep the house, pay off the family member, and just be done with the whole thing and keep your house. But 80 is a lot for you to take on in addition with other debt.
And do you have little kids?
I have a 3-year-old daughter.
Okay.
My wife. This family member would be on my side of the family, going to in-laws. It is not ideal. I understand.
Find somewhere else.
Yeah. Either find an apartment and sell a house and do what you got to do. Don't move in with another family member and complicate this thing further.
Sell the house, pay off the debt, pay off the family member, start saving for another house and rent in between. You'll feel more free.
Yeah.
You need to get free.
This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined by my good friend Christy Wright. Taking your calls on life and money. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Eric in Wichita, Kansas. Hey, Eric, what's going on, brother?
Hey, guys. I want to thank you for having me. It's an honor.
You got it.
Yeah,
you got it, man. It's our honor, too. So what's up?
I'm calling because we sold a house this summer and bought a house this summer. We walked away with $100K. And we allotted for a big down payment, as you guys preach, and to keep that mortgage insurance off and stuff like that, keep our payments down. And we did all that really good. What we're left, though, is with $42,000 of student loan debt, $17,000 on an investment property that does really well for me, and we have $45,000 in savings. What should I do? Should I pay it off this year? If I wait till January 1st? Not too sure.
So you've got you've got the $40,000 in savings, and you have how much above and beyond that from the house sale?
Nope. All we have left is just 40.
You have the 40. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we are going to still walk the baby steps, even though you've had some, home purchases and that type of thing. You're still going to go through the baby steps in order, which is you're going to put everything that you've got, which I know is scary, but everything that you've got except for $1,000 at that debt.
Okay.
And then you're going to be debt free, right?
Yes. And does it matter if I go with the baby steps as far as lowest to highest? So I would pay the rental property off first, and then that would leave me with only $20,000 on the student loan.
How much is on the rental property? How much total debt do you have?
Total is 57.
Yeah, so we're still going to have a little bit left to tackle after this.
Yeah. What do you make a year, man?
5.
Do what? Just lost you.
55.
55, okay. What kind of investment property is this?
It's just a residential.
Okay. So you're about to have a debt-free residential property as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
You can make an argument either way. I mean, you're so close to becoming debt-free. You're not going to have much left after you put this $39,000 at it. If you want to, that's the smaller balance. You can do that first and knock it out. If you want to move that to the back of the line just because of the different type of debt it is, you can. But it doesn't matter. You're going to be out of debt very soon anyway. So I would take it. I would just walk it in order, smallest to largest, knock it out, and so what's the largest balance? Remind me of that.
The $40,000 on the student loan.
Student loan. So what's actually good about you doing this investment property first and then following them in order, that student loan is going to get on your nerves and you're going to be fired up to want to pay it off, which is good. Versus if the last one was the investment property, it's like, oh, well, this is good debt. This is making money.
Let's redo the bathrooms. Let's go ahead and.
I actually kind of like that. Go ahead and knock that out so you don't have that crutch to fall back on or any temptation there. That student loan is going to irritate you enough to want to pay it off and keep you on the plan. Then you'll be debt free very soon, and yeah, you'll be having that income. You'll be doing great.
And Eric, that you make 55. Does that include that rental income?
No, that doesn't include the rental income. And I completely didn't include my wife's income. So together we make 85.
Yeah, you should count her income always.
Well, what's funny is I introduced her to Dave Ramsey, but she's a better Dave Ramsey.
Of course she is, because she's smarter than you.
Than I am.
Of course she is. So yeah, I want 100% of this rental income going to that student loan, and I want y'all to just have for Christmas. I want y'all to get each other a
John Deloney's Questions for Humans
card.
Questions
for Humans
there
card.
There it is.
Yes.
Y'all are gonna have great conversations over Christmas.
Yes.
And it's $14.99.
That's right.
It's a very inexpensive present.
I want y'all to make it a priority to just go gazelle intense and get this nonsense paid off. Get rid of this stuff. You should be debt free by June of everything. Just be done. And then you're gonna have turned a major financial corner in your life. That's just incredible.
Yeah, and then you can start building that savings back up. I know it's going to be scary to get rid of that savings towards the debt, but you can build it right back up after that.
Let's go to Jordan in Salt Lake City. What's up, brother?
Hi, thank you so much for taking my phone call.
You got it. What's up?
So my situation is a little complicated, but I'll just kind of break it down for you. Recently just sold one of the homes that I owned that my parents were actually living in. And I received a little over $100,000 from there. The reason why it gets a little bit complicated is because we have no other debts other than the other home that my wife and I live in, which we have about $250,000 on. So I'm just trying to figure out kind of what to do with that money, and as well as try to figure out potentially selling the home we're currently in as well and moving to a new location where I split custody with my ex-wife. So trying to just figure out what to do with that situation.
Do you have any other debt?
Nope, nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah, cars are paid off, no student loans, none of that stuff.
Have you got any other savings, like a emergency fund, or is that it?
Yeah, so we have about $50,000 in savings, minus the, not including the $100,000 we just received from the house. So.
And are you investing?
Yeah. So we do. We don't do, I think, as much as what we should. Just because I worked as a 401k match.
Yeah.
So I think we do end up about 10% a month or so.
When are you thinking about moving?
The biggest thing is depends on the situation with custody with my kids. I've been trying to fight back and forth to try to get custody, and they live right now about 40 minutes away from us. So we've been looking to move closer and been thinking about selling our house, buying another house, which is difficult for us because our goals are to pay off our house and just live here indefinitely. Mm-hmm. So I would say if we were to move, about a year or so, maybe sooner.
Okay. What we would recommend if you're following the baby steps is to bump up your investments to 15%. That's going to be an easy switch for you, and it's not going to make a huge difference in your world. You could really go about it one of two ways. You can take that $100,000 and put it on your current mortgage just to bring that down, and you're not paying interest between now and a year from now if you move, or if you don't decide to move, but you're still going to get the benefit of that going towards whatever you move. The only other thing that gives me a slight pause is if you're in that custody battle, the expenses of that and attorney's fees and the unknown. So if you want to hold back more of that $100,000 and bump up your emergency fund to be larger than what a normal person might need of 3 to 6 months of expenses, because you're really preparing for whatever these costs could be, then you're welcome to do that as well, because if you don't use it, then you have the cash when you move to put as a down payment on the house. So I think you could go about that either way, and I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it for that reason, for when you're going through something so hard like that.
If I'm moving in a year, I would put this money in a high yield savings account. You're not going to make a bunch of money on it, but you're not going to lose any of it. It's just going to sit there. And like Christy said, it'll be liquid if you have an event. If you're going to stay in this house for 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, then I'd go ahead and pay the mortgage off.
Or pay it down, you mean?
Pay it down,
yeah.
So one other option I had, I just refinanced at 2.6, pretty good interest rate. And what I'm trying to figure out is, like they said, if I put down X amount of dollars, like $50,000, I'll actually do something basically where they go off that now new value of the interest versus. So it's like $200,000 what I would owe essentially instead of $250,000, and they would redo the rate off of that and say,
your
now
payment would change.
This. Yeah, well, it would be essentially less. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with nickels and dimes if you're talking about 10 to 12 months. If you're going to be in this house 3 to 5 years, then that makes sense. Put 50 in a high yield savings account, put 50 down on your mortgage, and get it to 200. I mean, at this point, it's 6 1/2 dozen another, since you're about to move and since you're in the middle of a custody battle. I personally would rather stay liquid during the custody battle and as mobile as possible if I'm going to end up selling this house soon.
That's good.
Today's scripture of the day is Philippians 4:12. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. Coretta Scott King says, I am fulfilled in what I do. I never thought that a lot of money or fine clothes, the finer things of life, would make me happy. My concept of happiness is to be filled in a spiritual sense. Love it. All right, let's go to David in Dallas, Texas. Hey, David, what's up?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. Thanks for calling us. What's going on, dude? How can we help?
Hi. So I've been listening to the show for about a year now, and I'm getting ready to start to pay off my student loans.
All right, way to go.
Thank you. So I'm 26 and I have around $83,000 in student loans.
Okay.
And I have the $1,000 emergency funds, and I've been using the Every Dollar budget app.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I've watched a lot of student debt related videos in the YouTube channel, and it's a little weird, but I'm kind of excited to pay it off because I think I know that I can pay it faster.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Get this cancer out of your life, my brother.
Yeah. So my question is, as it gets closer to January, I'll be using the debt snowball, of course. I was wondering if I should start paying it off now or save as much money as possible and pay a huge chunk on January.
Well, why would you do that?
Why would I save?
Yeah, like why would you save up and wait until January to start versus just putting the money that you have on it now as you have it?
I was thinking about that too, but I got an email that says that I start paying on January.
Start paying today.
Yeah, you don't. You may have gotten an email that says you don't have to start paying till January, but here's what we want to do. You want to start this process as soon as possible, not just for the interest and not just for the financial, you're going to get benefit from it the sooner you start to knock it down, but for your own self, for your own motivation, for your own sense of progress of like, I'm doing this. Wow, that felt good. Now I'm going to put next month more on it. Man, when you get that momentum going, it's going to motivate you to keep going. If you wait, you might stall out. You might spend some money over Christmas. Like, we're going to start today. I don't care what the email said. We're going to start today, and then you're going to go ahead and get it started even faster.
You got it?
Okay. Yes.
David,
you're going to do it.
We're with you, brother. Congratulations, man. This is awesome.
Way to go.
Awesome. All right, speaking of student loans, if you aren't strapped with student loan payments, odds are you know someone who is. We do. David. Millions are putting their lives on hold. They can't buy a house or have kids because they're stuck, or even worse, they're waiting for the government to save them with student loan forgiveness. What a joke. Our team has produced a new documentary called Borrowed Future, and it is out now. It uncovers the dark side of the student loan industry and exposes how the system is built to work against you. You'll see Dave Ramsey weigh in on epic failure, otherwise known as the student loan program, along with featured interviews from industry leaders and thought leaders like Seth Godin, Seth Frotman, and John Deloney. Who's that guy? We're coming at this hard, folks. We're taking big swings at the student loan problem with the goal to arm parents and students across the country with the truth. You don't have to take out loans to get a college education. It's available on Apple TV, Amazon Prime Video, Google Play, or go to borrowedfuture.com. Let's go to Pedro in Austin, Texas, right down the street. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Outstanding. How are you?
Pretty good, man. I have a simple question. So I'm upside down on a car note. I was pretty young at the time. Didn't realize what I was doing until it was done. I owe about $15,000 to $18,000 on a car note under two vehicles, so it's consolidated, and one of them's not working. I wanted to see how can I work toward paying my debt off, and we'll see what y'all had. Know what kind of advice you had for me.
What other debt do you have?
I have a little loan with about $600 loan with a financing company, and I believe that's about it. Like I said, the main thing I'm trying to get rid of is this car note. Because I'm trying to stay motivated to pay it off, which sometimes it seems kind of hard to do.
Sure. Okay. So tell me again how much you owe. It's two cars that you've consolidated?
Yes, it's two cars consolidated on one note.
Okay. And the total of the note?
It's about 16 to 18 grand.
Okay. And what are the cars worth? Both of them?
One of them's I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm upside down. One of them's a 04, the other one's 2008. So one of them is actually down in the shop, and the other one's barely hanging on.
What are you driving right now?
Right now, I'm not driving anything. I'm actually a truck driver, so I'm not even using them at the moment. But I'm saying one of them's down. My fiance is using the car right now. because we have 2 kids and she works as well.
Yeah.
How much do you make a year, brother?
I haven't been at this job too long. 'Cause, I would shoot for. I'm back about 15.
I just lost you. You still there, brother?
About 1,500 to 2,000 every 2 weeks.
Okay, so
I'm not sure what it is a year.
About 4,000 a month. Okay. So, first thing I want you to do is this. When we asked you how much are on these car notes, you said 16 to 18. I want you to know exactly what you are shackled to.
Before I looked up on the app, but last time I looked, it was 16,000, but it was not my payoff. It's an interest-bearing loan.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's what I want to know what this amount is. In the same
16,000.
I want you to take all of your debts, and I want you to list them in order of smallest to largest. That 600, you're like, maybe I don't. It's about 600. I want you to know exactly who you owe and how much. And right now, it's all kind of fuzzy in your head. It's a little amorphous. It's just this, and it's kind of weighing me out, and I'm not driving that car. I want to know exactly how much I owe. I'm going to take ownership of this money, and then I'm going to start swinging it. I want you to get pissed off at these 2 loans. One's in a broke car that won't even drive, and one's barely hanging on. You got 2 kids, and I want you to get angry at this thing. Crush it. Be done with this forever.
No, believe me, I'm done with loans. I'll tell you that.
I know. But right now, you're done.
Can you sell the one that's broken? Can you just? I just don't even want you to look at it.
Get something for it.
If you've got the one car that your wife is using, then that's fine because she's using it. But even just the eyesore of this reminder of what's going on. Sell it, get a little bit of money, put that towards it, attack the $600, get rid of that, and then get after this loan with unbelievable intensity because you're going to have to. This is so discouraging to you because you're upside down in it. Having a loan on a car is not fun anyway, but having a loan on a car that's not worth that is unbelievably defeating. So I want you to knock this out, not just for the financial benefit, but for your own just sense of morale.
Yeah, and it's a. I hate to say it like this. I wish there was a nicer way to say it, but it's a stupid tax. You did something dumb. And
we've all done it. We've all done stupid
stuff. Oh my gosh, my dumb is way more than 16,000, dude. So this is a slap on the wrist, but it stinks.
Right.
It's a chunk of your income the next 2 years. It's not fun. And it's just a stupid tax. You've learned your $16,000 lesson. You're never going to do this again. So let's be done with loans. Get raged out on this thing. Drive trucks. Deliver papers in the morning. Work Chick-fil-A on the weekends. I don't care what you got to do. Get this thing out of your life. Sell one of these cars. Pitch that $150 or $500 or $1,000. You get bananas after this thing. And just start moving. You got this, Pedro. And I'm never taking out a loan again. I love it.
Never going
Christy,
back. Never
thanks
going
for hanging out with me.
This is fun. This was a good day.
You did good.
Questions for humans.
Questions for humans. JohnDelaney.com, RamseySolutions.com. I want to thank producer James Childs and associate producer Kelly Daniel. And to you, America, for staying with us. We're so grateful for you. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you soon on The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.